You're listening to the Truck Talk with Trivista podcast, brought to you by the truck, trailer, and equipment experts at Trivista Companies, the ultimate source for all things transportation. I'm Anita Massey, Director of Marketing. Thanks for joining us. Okay, so today we're here with m.lowe, truck and trailer sales expert from our Trivista, Austin, Indiana location, and Jennifer Coursey, our truck and trailer sales expert from our Trivista, Louisville, Kentucky location. And we're going to be talking about the three trailer brands that Trivista offers, the Neville Built, the Fruehauf, and Wabash. So welcome, guys.
Thank you, Anita.
Thank you.
Thanks. Glad to have you guys. Well, let's start out by talking about the different types of trailers that you guys sell and which ones are best suited for your different types of customers. So, Mark, I'm going to start with you. In Austin, I know we do sell to a lot of the Neville Built trailers, and I know that we do see a lot of the agricultural customers that come in, but can you talk about the different types of trailers that your customers are typically looking for?
Okay, well, the Neville Built is mainly with agriculture community, Anita, and the construction. So we sell dozer trailers, 35-ton dozer trailers, spread axle drop decks that are a little bit different. They have ramps on the back and a sloped beaver tail, so you can load things all the way up on the nose if you want, or you can just haul seed corn. Mulch is big in our area, or anything else you could normally put on a flatbed. But it'd be a versatile trailer that you could use to haul something with tracks or wheels also, and you wouldn't have to have a loading dock to load it. Then when we get over to the agricultural, of course, the grain trailers are the biggest seller. And we specialize in the shorter trailers because with the farming community, they're out in rural areas where the roads aren't as wide, the turns are shorter. And so most of the trailer manufacturers do 40, 41, 42 foot. So we start at 24 and we stock all the way to 38. Now we can order the longer trailers if you want, but we typically don't stock those. And we have aluminum or steel. And we have two side heights. We have 66, which is standard, or we can go up to 72. With farmers, they like to haul as much as they can and as short as they can. The only issue is some of them have shorter tractors, and when they're filling the grain trailer, if they have the high side, some of them don't like it because they can't see what they're loading. Some of them want the high side. So we keep both of them in stock, and we actually have 4 grain trailers here right now. We have a 24-foot aluminum, which is a single axle. It'll hold about 750 bushel. We have a 28-foot that will hold roughly 850, and we have a 34 and a 38. The 34, not legally, but you can fit 1,000 bushels on either that or the 38. And when I say not legally, I mean by weight, you'll be over 80,000 pounds, but it would hold it. Also, we have fertilizer tank chassis trailers, and we can order them with the tanks already on them. We don't because we sell to a lot of ag retail stores that have trucks with stainless tanks that the truck is shot, and they have this tank sitting around. So we do have places where we can order the tanks and have them mounted on the trailers here locally rather than sending the tanks all the way from Kansas here, and then we may have to take them off because the customer may not want that.
Kansas being where Neville Built is based. Okay.
Kingman, Kansas is where they're built. Pretty close to our locations out there in Dodge City. And then they also make combine trailers to haul combines with because they kind of got their start in a custom harvester market. They also make ground loading steel livestock trailers. So like most of the livestock trailers you see around here are aluminum, and you have to have a loading dock to load them. And if you're going out on a pasture here in Kentucky, there may not be a loading dock, and you may need a ground load. So we don't stock those unless somebody wants one. but that's another option with them as well.
Okay. That was a lot of information. We'll dive a little more deeper into some of that stuff a little bit later. But thank you for that. So Jennifer, I know in Louisville, we see a lot of customers who are in the market for a dry van type of trailer. So because we're now an authorized Fruehauf trailer dealer, we're working with companies in what type of different industries do you typically see?
Well, here, obviously, the bourbon industry is really big. So we have a lot of adult beverage haulers. The automotive industry with Ford and Toyota, that's pretty big. And then, of course, you have your general freight guys that are just hauling general freight for Amazon or whomever.
Okay. All right. Well, Mark, I guess back to you. We'll kind of go back and forth. I know we added the Neville Built trailer line to our product offerings back in, I think it was 2020. Is that right?
Yes,
Okay.
I believe so.
I know they've proven to be a really great addition for our customers. Can you give me like the top 3 reasons of why you and John decided to add the Neville Built trailer line to our offerings?
Well, Anita, they're very big in ag, which, my background's ag too. They had the availability of getting the shorter trailers, which is kind of our niche market with them. It's very hard to get some of the other manufacturers to make the shorter trailers. So we have those available and people can see them. Also, it's kind of a one-stop shop. Especially with ag, ag went from tractors pulling wagons into town with their grain to straight trucks with dump beds on it. The next transition is a semi and a trailer. So we felt that it would be beneficial to have both, to be the one-stop shop is why we took on the line. And also at the Austin location, there's no trailer places between Louisville and Indianapolis. So, we're right there on the interstate. If you need parts or you need help with your trailers, people see our trailers, they know they can stop. We may not have the part, but we can get it to them, and typically within a day or two.
Okay. So besides the ag industry and I guess construction, what other industries would you say would be good for the Neville Built trailer line?
And that, I know it seems it's different, but it sounds the same. Ag retail. And when I mean ag retail, your fertilizer stores that spray the crops or provide the fertilizer for it. And then, the livestock industry with their trailers. But, the construction, you're really construction ag. That's who we are. Construction and ag, anything. Now, with the drop deck trailers, it's kind of like Jennifer's, it's general freight, but it's not inside. Now, we're not going to be hauling bourbon barrels on a flatbed trailer, but it would be a good picture op.
It would definitely be a good picture op. I'm in for that. Well, the thing that I'm hearing is the customization capabilities that Neville Built has. I don't know of any other trailer manufacturer that is willing to customize for a customer's specific needs like Neville Built. Do you feel that way as well?
I do as well. And Anita, I got familiar with Neville probably 25 years ago, 26 years ago, out in Dalhart, Texas. All the custom harvest crews had Neville Built trailers, and I'd never heard of them. But Neville still does do some customization, not as much as them, but at that time, they had these grain trailers set up, which typically the back end's fixed. They had made those so opened up, and the center hopper would lay down. And then they made A-frames to put on the feeder house head of a combine, and they could lift up their grain heads and put them in these grain trailers and haul them from South Texas all the way to Canada that way. So if a customer wants something a little bit different, like with our 53-foot drop deck, typically we have the beaver tail with the ramps, but Neville makes a superb air assist lift ramp that I think we've done a video on once before. And so we can put those ramps on it. If you don't want a 53-foot trailer and you want it shorter, we can go to them and say, hey, can you make a shorter trailer? Probably they will. With short supply and everything here, they kind of got away from that for a little while, but they're going to get back to
Okay.
more custom.
Okay. So from a selling standpoint, as far as top selling features of the Neville Built, what would you say a customer really, really loves about this trailer line?
The durability, they're made a lot stronger than the other grain trailers. They use 25,000 pound axles, which typically everybody else is going to be on at 20. Most of the customers that come and look at the trailers, they can tell that they're built a little bit stronger. They're not built for the cheapest amount we can get to make the most profit. That's really not their game. And that's probably the number one thing. We've never, I feel that Neville's going to stand behind us if we do have a problem. I don't have any problems thinking that wouldn't happen. Not that I've ever had a problem.
Right.
But it's a family-owned business, a little bit smaller. We're not dealing with huge corporate America when it comes to them.
Right. So they're kind of there when you need them. So are the Neville Built trailers then available for sale in all of Trivista's 13 locations?
Yes, we can sell them at all our locations. We're not stocking at this time at any of the other locations, but any of the sales professionals at the other locations, they've got my number, and if they have any questions, they can give us a call, or you can call us, and we'll set you up with somebody at the location that'll help you out.
Okay, great. Thank you. We'll get your contact information at the end. Okay, so Jennifer, let's talk about Fruehauf for a minute. I know the company started way back in the very beginning in 1918, but if you don't mind, can you just kind of walk us through a little bit of the company's history and how they went from 1918 to 2023 and what they've been up to?
Okay. The way they started was kind of just serendipity, if you will. August Fruehauf was originally a carriage maker, and his neighbor had bought a new Model T, and he had a boat, and he wanted to pull his boat with his Model T.
Okay.
So he asked August Fruehauf if he would build him a trailer. So Mr. Fruehauf obliged, and that led to the first flatbed trailer. So he's credited with the first flatbed trailer as well as the first semi-trailer. Okay, so that was in 1918. And then obviously a century does a lot to a company, so they changed hands and ultimately in the mid-90s moved to Mexico. And so just recently they've relocated back to the States, to Kentucky, just south of us in Bowling Green. So we're pretty excited about that and happy to start marketing them again and
Absolutely.
getting them on the road again.
Yeah, that's awesome to have them. That's an hour or hour and a half maybe from our dealership. So that's great to have them so close to our back door. What do you think in general? I know right now we're just getting the dry vans, but what do you think are some of the features, even if they're basic? What are some of the features that a customer might be looking for if they come to talk to you about purchasing a trailer?
Okay, the 53 foots that'll be arriving soon we're going to have two different options. We have the standard base rail, which is a 6-inch base rail. All of the trailers have 7.5 millimeter composite sidewalls, 40,000 pound air suspension by Holland. They all have 4-inch steel I-beam cross members on 12-inch centers. If you opt for the high base rail trailer, the base rail is 16 inches instead of just 6. So you get an extra 10 inches, and then on the interior of the trailer, that provides a built-in scuff rail to protect your rivets from forklift use and abuse. So
Makes the trailer last a little longer.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. So that's a pretty good option, or a pretty good upgrade for not a lot of money, in my opinion. The roof construction, it's one-piece aluminum with the anti-snag bow, so you don't have to worry about your freight or cargo being damaged when it's loaded and unloaded. All of them come standard with a rear swing door. It's a 1/2-inch composite. It also has the galvanized frame and galvanized bumper, but there is an option if you need a roll-up door instead. That's something we can order. We're not going to have them in stock. As far as other options that you could order, side skirts are an option. Standard wheels are just your steel 22.5 hub piloted, but you can upgrade to polished aluminum. That's an option. So, and again, they have the Tire Max Pro tire inflation system standard on all the trailers. So those adjust your tire pressure instead of just alerting you that something's wrong with the tire pressure.
That's a nice feature.
So yes, that's a nice standard feature.
Okay,
So,
that's great.
those are just the basics. If someone needed something specific to their application, I would just tell them to give us a call and we could look into that. Maybe either have it done at the plant, at the Fruehauf plant, or we have some aftermarket options we could work out. So
I didn't realize that the standard trailers came with so many of those options, so that's pretty good.
yes. Oh, another thing people are big on, we have 48-inch logistics posts, but we could also add more E-track if the customer's application called for that. So.
And are all these features going to be on that big order that we've got coming in soon in the next few days? Are they pretty much all these?
Yes, all
the
these
same way.
All these specs except the E-tracks.
Okay.
But that is something that could be done at the factory or aftermarket if someone needs that. But
Okay. And I heard that we're getting a big quantity coming to our dealerships, like 175 coming in stock. So
we're excited.
Yeah, that'll be great. I think they're supposed to be here in the next few weeks, so we'll be promoting those. And now, are the Fruehauf trailers also available for sale at all of Trivista's 13 locations?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Do we currently have Fruehauf inventory in Palmyra, Indiana, or Louisville, Kentucky, or are we just kind of waiting on the big shipment?
They should be rolling in
Any day.
Any day.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Perfect. Okay. So let's switch gears a little bit. As you guys know, we had hoped to have Chris Del Senior, our trailer expert out of our Girard, Ohio dealership, join us today, but he was unavailable. So we do want to at least just mention that third trailer product line that Trivista offers, and that's called Wabash, formerly known as Transcraft and Benson. When was this? In 2022, I guess it was, Wabash decided to unite all of their brands. And so now they've gotten rid of Benson and Transcraft, and they're just operating as Wabash. But a funny story or an interesting note, Chris Del Senior told me that in Youngstown, Ohio, there was an original Fruehauf retail store there. And back in 1976, they closed it down. And so the Girard, Ohio location hired one of Fruehauf's best mechanics and top drivers to come work for them. So we've had one of Fruehauf's original mechanics and drivers in our location in Girard all these years. And so he's still with us today. And when we picked up the Fruehauf line last year, they sent him to go grab one of the trailers and bring it back. So it was kind of a full circle of, him starting with Fruehauf in Youngstown and then ending up in Girard, Ohio at our trailer dealership there. So I thought that was kind of cool.
That is.
That is.
Yeah. But Mark, I don't know if you can talk about this at all, but I know that Wabash offers a much more extensive line than just Fruehauf. Did you want to kind of talk about some of the different trailer types?
Let's start with the drop decks, because
Okay.
I mentioned that, Neville has drop decks, and I wanted to explain the difference. Of course, they have aluminum and steel drop decks, but their drop decks don't typically come with the beaver tail and the ramps. It's mainly to haul stuff, not to load stuff or drive stuff.
So none of the, the ground loading, none of that?
No.
Okay.
No. I think there might be a possibility. We'll have to talk to Chris about that. But, they do the refrigerated vans. Now, let me explain combo to you, because I've been around this forever. And when somebody said a combo, I had no idea what they're talking about. So, like, the undercarriage will be steel, the deck will be aluminum. So it's a combination of steel and aluminum. That's what combo means. And so...
is that done for stability?
Yeah, for strength
Grid
reasoning.
strength? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I know that Chris moves a lot of those up there, and that's something that I'm very excited about, because I do have a lot of customers ask for the combos. Now that I know what they are, so maybe we can sell them. But also the tank trailers, which it's bringing us around full circle to where we're going to be handling anything you can put behind a semi, and that's really neat.
Now, when you say tank trailer, is that the same as Neville Built's tank chassis trailer, or is that something different as well?
No, that is totally different. So the Neville, we put two different tanks, where we could have a tank of water and a tank of fertilizer, or we could have two tanks of fertilizer or two tanks of water. Most of the trailers, some of them are split or they have tanks in it, but this would be the long cylinder tanks that you see, like that haul fuel or food products, stuff like that. That would be a tank trailer.
Okay, gotcha. Big difference. Well, yeah, I think you're right. I mean, that's a wide variety of trailer types and industries that would use it and types of uses. So I'm excited to know that Trivista is going to be able to have a full product offering of trailers throughout all of our locations. So that's pretty cool. What about, can you talk about like the after sales parts and service offerings at all for our trailers? Is there anything that's unique about that, or is it just, what can you say about that?
I can say that we have the availability to handle warranty work on these trailers. We have, not all our locations are stocking parts, but we can get parts pretty quick with the agreement we have with, especially Fruehauf.
Yes, and here in Louisville, we're stocking what they call the quick moving parts, commonly used parts. Okay, so great. Those will be in stock here in Louisville.
And on the Indiana, Kentucky region, we have a great parts delivery system that moves around to our locations, sometimes several times a day. So, if you need something in Austin and we have it in Louisville, we may be able to have it there in 2 hours because we have a truck sitting there waiting around. And plus, we have a lot of trucks and stuff moving around to all our locations where, we can throw a part in a truck and get it to Iowa or Kansas because we have so many vehicles moving between all of our locations.
Yeah, that's a good point. And that I wanted to point out, too, that our parts delivery service, that's a free service to our customers. And not all companies do that. So I think that's an added benefit for anybody that's needing a part right away. Well, I think that's great after-sales support. And if somebody would like to speak to either of you guys directly to learn more about these specific trailer offerings or any of the parts that they might need, Jennifer, where could they reach you at?
I'm here in Louisville, so they could call the office or reach me on my cell, 270-556-1756, or email me at jcoursey@trivistacompanies.com.
Okay. And Mark, where could they reach you?
You can reach me at my office number, which goes directly to my cell phone, 888-969-3012, or my email, m.lowe@uhltrucksales.com.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, guys. Well, it looks like we're at the end of our time today, but is there anything else either of you would like to add that maybe you didn't think about, or did we cover everything, do you feel like?
We covered a lot, but if anybody has any questions or they're looking for something in particular, just give us a call, because even if we don't have it, we may be able to help you where to go to find it.
Okay, that's great advice. All right. Well, thanks, guys. We appreciate your time. And just as a reminder to everybody that's listening and watching, you can always visit our website at www.trivistacompanies.com to learn more. So thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anita.
To experience this podcast and more, find us on your favorite podcast app. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Trivista Companies.